There, welcome back to Christian Friendly. In today's video, we're going to discuss IELTS Writing Task 1 for the academic version of the test, not for the general training version of the test. IELTS Writing Task 1 contributes 1/3 of the total marks of IELTS Writing. In fact, in IELTS writing, there are two tasks, task 1 and task 2. Task 2 carries 2/3 of the total marks of IELTS writing, whereas this task 1, carries just 1/3 of the total marks of writing. And you will be given 60 minutes to do two tasks, and you are supposed to spend 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 minutes on task 2. So let's get started. What happens in IELTS writing task 1? You are supposed to spend 20 minutes on describing the visuals in at least 150 words. You can write more than 150 words, but you should not write fewer than 150 words. What if you write 120 words? What if you write 130 words? Your writing will be penalized. But what if you write 160 words? Fine. So if you write more, it's fine, but if you write fewer than 150 words, your writing will be penalized. The visuals can be divided into three other groups. I've divided the visuals into three other categories: graphs with a trend, flowchart or process diagram, and the next is maps. Graphs with a trend are line graph, bar graph, pie chart, and table. Next, flowchart. Next, maps. I've divided this IELTS writing task 1 into three groups because these three types of task 1 require different types of strategies. In next videos, I'm going to explain how to do all these three question types. So how many parts should I write as an answer to IELTS writing task 1? Well, the answer is 3 parts: the introduction, overview, and the description. So what do you write in the introduction? Well, in the introductory part, you restate the task in your own words. So you just rewrite the task, but make sure that you restate the task in your own words. You should not copy out exactly the same words as in the task. If you do that, your task, your script will have no introduction, because the examiner won't take it as your introduction. That's because you copied exactly the same words. Immediately after the introduction, write a clear overview. An overview, by the way, means one sentence or two that clearly summarize the whole visual. It's a bigger picture of the visual, whether line graph or bar chart, pie chart or table, without mentioning any specific features or details. You just summarize the whole graph or chart or table, whatever, in one sentence or two. That's an overview. So you can write it immediately after the introductory part or at the end. But I recommend you write it immediately after the introduction, because if you run out of time, you are still safe because you've written a good, clear overview. After the overview, you write the body description. in which you describe, you select and report the most important features. Do not describe every detail, by the way. You select and report only the most important features and support these features, the description of these features, with evidence. For example, data, percentage, number, the amount of money, whatever, from the video itself. So you write three different parts: the introduction, overview, and the description of the key features. And the vast majority of students ask me a question: should there be a conclusion or the concluding part in IELTS Writing Task 1 or not? And the answer is no. In IELTS Writing Task 2, which requires you to write your opinion, give your opinion on the topic, but Task 1 does not have room for opinion. You cannot give your opinion. You just describe the key features or the visuals in your own words. So you have no room, no space for your personal opinion. So no conclusion. Just write the introductory part, a clear overview, and the description of the key features. So next, let's look at how your IELTS Writing Task 1 will be judged. These are the 4 things that you always need to keep in mind while doing IELTS Writing Task 1. In fact, they are also called IELTS Writing Task 1 marking criteria. So there are 4 criteria that you will have to fulfill. The first one is task achievement, and the next one is coherence and cohesion. Next is lexical resource, and the next one is grammatical range and accuracy. And each of these 4 criteria is rated between 1 band, which is the lowest, and 9 band, which is the highest. So in each of the 4 criteria, you get full band only. You won't get half bands, but overall you may get either full band or half bands, like 6.5, 7 or 6 you get overall, but in each of the 4 criteria you get only 1 band or full band, like 6, 7, task achievement 7, coherence cohesion 6, for example. You won't get half bands. So let's get started what each of the 4 criteria means. Task achievement requires you to write at least 150 words. As I mentioned earlier, if you write fewer than 150 words, your writing will be penalized, or let's say you will get a lower score in task achievement criteria. So if you write 150 words or more than that, fine, but please don't write fewer than 150 words. And the next thing you should do to get good score in task achievement criteria is to provide a clear overview. You must provide a clear overview, which in a sentence or 2 clearly summarizes the whole video. And next, select and report the key features. Do not write down the description of every detail. Do not describe every detail. Select and report only the key features, not every detail. In next videos, I'll teach you how to select and report only the key features, not every detail. Make comparisons among the features. Wherever you find opportunities to make comparisons, comparisons, by the way, means both the similarities and differences. Whenever you find similar items, show the similarities, and whenever you find items that are different, do so. Show the contrast, show the differences. So this is called make comparisons among the features. And don't just describe the key features, make describing the similarities and differences, but also support the description with evidence from the visual itself. Don't forget to mention the percentage, data, number, the amount of money, whatever. So let's move on to the next criterion, which is coherence and cohesion. Your IELTS writing task must flow smoothly. For that, there must be a clear overall progression. There must be a sense of completeness. For example, you must write the introduction, an overview, and the description of the key features. But if you've written the introduction, you've written an overview, but if the description of the key features is missing, that answer script does not have an overall progression. So you lose your marks in coherence and cohesion criteria. Next, use a wide range of connectives and discourse markers. For example, in addition, whereas, whilst, similarly, in comparison, in contrast, on the other hand, and also referencing it, they, with, them, etc. And if you want to get a better score, use these linking words and discourse markers, not always at the beginning of your sentences, sometimes in the middle, sometimes at the end. And the use of these linking devices falls within coherence and cohesion criterion. And the next criterion is lexical resource. Lexical, by the way, means word. This criterion assesses your range of vocabulary. So, can you use the vocabulary items flexibly or not? That's what is tested on the lexical resource criterion. Avoid repetition. Do not use exactly the same words over and over again. If you are describing a line graph, for example, and if you have to describe an increasing trend, instead of using the word increase several times, use synonyms such as rise, grow, etc. Use synonyms instead and make as few errors in word choice, word formation, spelling as possible. Don't make mistakes in word selection, in word formation and spelling. And the next criterion is grammatical range and accuracy. For that, you'll have to use a wide variety of sentence structures. Don't always use simple sentences. Use a wide variety of complex sentences. Complex sentences are not necessarily long sentences. Only long sentences are not complex sentences. Certain clauses like adverbial clause, relative clause, nominal clause, non-finite clause, these clauses make your sentences complex. Even a short sentence can be a complex sentence. Complex sentences are often misunderstood as infinitely long sentences. Do not make your sentences complicated, make them complex. Avoid simple sentences only and avoid errors in subject-verb agreement. For example, he wants, they want, people choose, but every person chooses. So make sure your verb agrees with the subject. Singular subject, singular verb. Plural subject takes a plural verb. And also be careful in the use of singular versus plural verb and noun. Next, tense. If you are describing a grab which comes from past time. Don't forget to use past tense. Don't use present tense or future tense. And next, articles: the, a, and prepositions. For example, if there is a date 1895, don't write on 1895, write in 1895. Word order. So make sure your sentences have subject, verb, object, or complement pattern, not the other way around. And next, particles. Make sure that you handle the particles well. Avoid dangling particles. In next videos, I'm going to explain what these dangling particles are, and I'm going to explain virtually every important aspect in each of the four criteria. So if you want to know more about how IELTS Writing Task 1 is judged or assessed, please refer to Google and type IELTS Writing Task 1 band descriptors, which is what the examiner has at his or her disposal. And in fact, the IELTS Writing examiner has IELTS Writing Task 1 band descriptors, and he or she tallies your writing with certain features and from the band descriptors, and will award you score accordingly. So in the next videos, I'm going to explain how to write IELTS Writing Task 1, how to approach each of the different types of IELTS Writing tasks in detail. So if you want to know more about IELTS Writing Task 1, please follow me, like my videos, watch my other videos, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to Chris in Training. Thank you. Good luck with your study.